Hello and welcome back to another advanced Hwoarang lessons. We talk about round enders. So down back 4-4 could be a nice round ender. Maybe a down 4-4 if you're feeling a little bit risky. But how about up forward 4-4? Air raid. This is a classic. High, mid, low round ender. That's what the round ender should be, right? Just like home surgery. 1-1-3-3, high, high, low, high. Let's talk more about it. So air raid's a 3-part string, right? So each move here has different frame data, but they all go into RFS and RFF respectively. Like if you do it pretty fast, it's gonna go into RFF. And if I try to punish Hwoarang, just to let you know, he's safe. So if I do a forward 4 and then hold back and let him do his thing, and let's say react ish. Okay, maybe not after up forward 4. How about up forward 4-4? Like check like that. And react jab. Oh no, okay, it's not the same. How about a react DF1? There you go. Alright, so you're a little bit safer. But if we go the whole way up forward 4-4-4 and let him hold back and try to react jab that too. Oh, hold on, I got hit by the last one. Gotta make sure I gotta block the last one. And okay, not react there with a jab, but a while standing 4 rather. Okay, it will connect while standing 3. Okay, see, the slower the frames are, the better. And if we wait for a second on that while standing 4, like to react, they're kind of fine. But I do remember vaguely that he can like remain safe right after air raid. If you do know, feel free to drop it in the comment section of this video. Oh, I got that one right here. So maybe it's just a matter of like holding back at the right time. But yeah, if you know the secret sauce for that one, feel free, please, I implore you to put it in the comment section of this lesson. But yes, that's like the one tidbit I want to mention about up forward 4 before we get into the frame data. So the first part obviously is up forward 4. I-22 is a 22 frame high kick that does low crush. It is +4 on hit. That transitions you to RFS should you want to go into RFS. And it is -2 on block. Nothing special on counter hit. Just +4 with extra damage. So that's 14 damage versus 12 damage, so +2. And then the next part of the string, up forward 4-4. That's +6 on hit, as you can see here. And that is on guard all, so that is natural. And it is 0 on block. And same dice, RFS, RFF. And then once you get into the low, up forward 4-4-4, that's +1 on block. And I need this to stand for a second. +7 on hit. Now, the main question is, can I parry the last hit of up forward 4-4-4? And the answer to that question is no. So it's still recorded here. I'm gonna attempt to low parry. You cannot. If I block all hits, one last time. Perfect. It jails. That's the interesting thing about this string, is that it does jail. So that +1 always catches. And the secret sauce to this one is always to like RFS F4 check them. Typically, the opponents do attempt to like wall standing 4 or do any wall standing move. But if they're doing a full crouch move, at that point, the RFS F4 mix-up is in play. So you can hit them with an RFS F forward 4 if you have the hard read. But yeah, that's like the frame data for each of these moves. But the most important part on all these frame data is like, can we use those numbers? This +4, this +6, this 0 on block, this +1 on block, you know, the +7. Can we use any of that? And of course, as always, you go here to action number 2, and these are your best friends. Now, the option we want to check first, as always, is Backdash. And you're all reliable, as I mentioned earlier. The first move you do use to check your opponent is to RFS F4. So that's against up 4, up 4-4. All right, they're still locked. Full string ahead. All right, we're good. We don't need to ask any more questions, because if that locks, for the most part, a good number of things, well, we'll have a chance to lock. But a little bit tricky tidbit here is that the recovery on this is a little bit off, in the sense that the time window you're allowed to press RFS down 4-3 is like you have to wait for the full thing to like kind of end. So that can mess up your input a little bit. Just letting you know that ahead of time when you press this move. So it only works on the first kick. So if you do want to get other lows, better stand switch into that down 3-4, and at least they're not running away from you when you stand switched into down 3-4. So if, as long as you lock them in with RFS F4 and RFS DF4, you're good to condition them. So backdash is fine. How about the side steps? These are the important ones. And we're going to go through them one by one. So we'll start with sidestep right, because the meme is to always step towards the stomach of Hwoarang. And that usually does work. So we're on hit first, right? So as always, RFS F4 will not betray you. RFS 1 is your next option. However, yeah, that was +4. And it does have a tendency to lose here. So it's going to be hard to... You're going to notice this theme. This is where stepping towards the right is extremely effective against Hwoarang, because even his other option does not catch towards the right. So you're kind of forced to RFS a back 4. And that's going to be a recurring theme, both on hit and on block. But if they do decide to step towards, let's say, left, that's when this is reliable. This will pretty much always win. Even, let's say, if I turn this on block, you're good. So that's something you don't have to worry about. And if you do need a low and you just wait at the right moment to like press RFS down for 3, you are going to win against sidestep left, and you're going to win against sidestep right. If we boost that up to sidewalk all the more, you're still winning that interaction. Of course, that was on hit. If we swap that to a block, you're still good. Still good. Yep. The only thing that you are worrying about is your sidewalk right. Because RFS 1, I was labbing it earlier during the stream. It did work a couple of times, but for the most part, view it as an 80% non-reliable move. So RFS back 4 is going to have to like help you out here. On block after up forward 4. What if you do up forward 4-4, right? So let's change this back to on hit. So again, as always, RFS F4, just checking all the other options. If you do hell sweep, yep, still wins there. How about your axe kick? So at +6, your axe kick is now viable. And if you notice, it's coming out at like your latest frame. The axe kick comes out at 17 to 19 frames according to the frame data overlay. And it's always constantly coming out, or consistently rather, coming out at 19 frames. So that's a sweet spot for it to always come out, or like track at that situation. But if it does come out 19, you do the math, 19 minus 10. Oh, well, wrong one. 19 minus 6. 13 frames. Again, still a fast move regardless, but if they do press a jab and they don't step, you're going to lose that one. So you gotta press RFS F4 to kind of remind them. So that's towards sidestep right. How about RFS 1? Alright, there we go. That's what we're needing. A little bit more safety here if you press the second kick. And interestingly, you can also throw out RFS 4. Well, as you can see there, it will hit, sometimes it won't hit. Damn, that's against sidewalk. That's even the stronger one. We change that back to sidestep, RFS DF4. Alright, was that the first kick or the second kick? Alright, there you go, that's the second kick. So still reliable. Then if you throw that to RFS 1 and change that to RFS 4, we're good. And of course, your left is completely covered by the launcher. Completely covered. Including with the axe kick, you change this to on block. They go towards the left, no problem. They go towards the left, no problem. We bring that back towards the right. RFS F4 will always lock in. DF4, well, that's when you disregard it on block. Only on hit can you press, what do you call this, RFS DF4. Because this is 0 on block at that point. And surprisingly, RFS 1, a little bit more reliable in this situation. You check RFS 4, no dice. So those are exclusive to on hit. But on block, RFS 1, a lot more... We have a mid at least to cover one side, not just an RFS back 3. So let's go down to the last hit. So for the most part, I'll be only showing the on hit portion of it. I'll show a couple of the options on block because the computer kind of like doesn't like to block the last hit, even if I put this at guard all. We're gonna leave it at sidestep right. So as always, so it's allowed like the +7 testing after the last hit, and typically you will be pressing the last hit into that. If you press RFS DF4 on hit, all right, you see how one frame makes a huge difference? I don't understand why, but at +6, it's working. And at +7, it straight up does not work. However, if you do press RFS1, you also lose your tracking move there for... I don't know why you do, but you do. So if you check that again with RFS4, okay. So now the -14 is your reliable move at +7 to track towards the right. Not unless there's another one, right? Maybe you can call on... No, you can't. Okay, never mind. Forget it. You can't call on that move. So it's RFS4 for the most part. And your old reliable Hell Sweep. So still high-low. But your mid... very punishable compared to like up forward 4. Well, up forward 4, your reliable mid here is -12. Here, your reliable mid is at least safe or plus if it's on hit. Then this one on hit, for the most part, you kind of have to commit to an RFS4 if they are stepping towards the right and you wanted to press a mid. And of course, if they do step towards the left, you already know this does work all day, every day, including the Hell Sweep. If I change that to Sidewalk, we're still fine. Hwoarang's still okay in that department. Now, I do have an option recorded here for the on block. I don't remember exactly which one. But yeah, okay, that was the axe kick. So if you try to step towards the left, it will complement your RFS back 3. However, if the opponent does step towards the right, that's when the axe kick loses and it does, well, unfortunately, get launched. It is what it is. The other option you do want to know on block is RFS1. And if you step towards the right, it's the same dice. Last mid to rely on, your RFS4. On block +1, nope. So as always, RFS back 4 is the one that's going to have your back in that situation. And RFS F4, you have a high, low, and, well, a power crush, essentially. So if you don't want to go through that, like, remember what options you want to use. Here are the 3 options for the most part on any string of air raid. It's RFS F4, RFS back 4, the Hell Sweep, RFS down 4-3, or you simply let Hwoarang transition into RFF and then hold back at the right time. Because if you hold back a little bit too early, you end up in RFS and you can get hit. But if you wait for the foot to go down at the right moment, or if there's the actual input, again, if someone puts that in the comment section, if there is one, then you do that one. Those are your best options for air raid. Now, its usage is usually wall pressure. Like, let's say you get the opponent on a combo, you launch punch them for something, you get Oki. Typically, if it is close to ending the round, you end it with RFS F4 because they have a harder time getting out. You know, the wall is going to help you there. So let's say DF2, you get a simple wall combo into like wall standing 4-4, and then you air raid. They're going to wake up into that. Or let's say you have them pressured over towards the wall here, right? They have nowhere to go. Hit him with the air raid, a 1-2, readjust, 1-2-3. Hit him with the RFS F4 to really like pressure them because they, you know, the HP's already low. They gotta make a decision. All the more in Tekken 8, that's chip damage all the way. But this ain't Tekken 8 yet, it's Tekken 7. And if not at the wall or wall Okizeme, even open Okizeme can work. But it's more like a frame kill in that sense, wherein you're trying to get RFS F4 or any RFS option to catch them as they wake up. Of course, you can play around with it in the lab. Let's say you end the combo on up 4, 3+4, and then you air raid into any RFS option, and then see like which get up options you're beating. But if you are going to use it in open, it usually comes off with the protection of plus frames before you press it. I mean, you can wave into just going for it, but do know your options on block for the most part. Like if you want to like really narrow down on like how to stay really, really safe. But again, it's just like that non-jail, the jail factor that's really keeping it together. There's a lot of players up to this day either know it or they forget it from time to time, and I'm able to squeeze in an RFS F4. But yeah, SSR kind of like really beats this a lot. And they're just forced to contend with a high and a low where that has to be pressed at the right time. And as a Hwoarang, you gotta like really commit to that unsafe mid. But that's all the cheese I know on a 4444 Air Raid. Next advanced Hwoarang lesson is gonna be on the other side of the screen. I've been Frontier, and I'll see you there.